Welcome to Community Advantage, the podcast from BuildMoat, where we explore how organizations can build the human infrastructure needed to survive and thrive in the age of AI. I'm your host, Emily, and today, Aiden is away, but I'm thrilled to be joined by a very special guest, the founder of BuildMoat himself, Emeka Ogbonnaya. Emeka, great to have you.
Emily, it's great to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to this. So let's just dive right in. In the first 2 months of 2026, more than 49,000 tech jobs were cut. AI was cited in nearly every announcement. But here's what none of those press releases mentioned. What happens to the people in between the productivity gain and the headcount reduction? That gap has a name, and almost no one is building for it.
Exactly. And this isn't new. In 2025, AI was cited in about 55,000 tech layoffs, which was almost 30% of all tech job losses that year. So the 2026 numbers are just an acceleration of a trend. And that gap you mentioned, that's where everything important happens. It's where trust is either built or completely destroyed.
Right, and these layoffs, the numbers are staggering. But it's not just a tech story, is it? You mentioned companies like Block, but also JPMorgan.
It's a workforce story. That's the key thing people are missing. They see tech jobs and think it's a Silicon Valley problem. It's not. It's Amazon flattening management layers. It's Dow streamlining operations. It's Salesforce. It's every industry.
Every industry. It's a much bigger picture than most people are seeing. Can you give us a few more examples of what this looks like on the ground?
The pattern is the same everywhere. AI comes in, productivity goes up, and the headcount decision follows. And most companies are treating this like some far-off future problem.
But it's not. It's a right now problem.
It is a right now problem, and it's accelerating.
So that leads perfectly into the title of your newsletter, which is AI will make your organization leaner. Whether it makes it stronger is up to you. Can you unpack that for us? What's the difference between being leaner and being stronger?
Yeah, it's the central question. Look, getting leaner is the easy part. The technology will do that for you almost automatically. You implement an AI tool, it automates a workflow, you need fewer people to do that specific task, boom, you're leaner.
Okay, so that's just efficiency.
Right, but stronger is about what happens to the people. Stronger means you manage that transition in a way that didn't break trust. You reskilled those people. You moved them into new roles. You were honest with them. You made the organization more capable, not just more efficient. Because if all you do is cut, you create a culture of fear. And in a culture of fear, your best people, the ones you absolutely need to navigate this change, they're the first ones to leave.
Wow, yeah, that makes so much sense. You lose the very people you need to actually become stronger. They're heading for the exits.
The first ones.
You mentioned trust, and it feels like that's the real currency here. I get the sense that a lot of companies are, saying one thing publicly, the whole AI is for augmentation, it's a co-pilot narrative.
Right, the augmentation story.
But then in the background, there is a private spreadsheet, as you put it, planning for headcount reduction. That feels incredibly damaging.
It's the most damaging thing you can do. It's running two stories at once, and your people are smart. They can feel the disconnect. When leadership says this is to help you, but their actions signal this is to replace you, trust dies.
Yeah.
And once it's gone, getting it back is, it's almost impossible. That gap between the public story and the private plan is where your culture goes to die.
Okay, so let's get really practical. For a leader listening right now, maybe a founder or an exec at a big company who's hearing this and thinking, oh my gosh, that's us, what should they actually be doing? Like today, what's step one?
Step one for any organization, enterprise, or small business is to stop treating it like a technology problem and start treating it like a people and process problem. For enterprise teams, I always recommend a workflow impact audit immediately, like in the next 30 days.
A workflow audit. What does that look like?
It's simple, really. List your top 5 processes in operations, in support, in admin the places where AI agents are likely to make the biggest dent, say a 10 to 20% reduction in effort. Then you map the human roles connected to those processes.
Okay.
That gives you a role exposure matrix. You immediately see who is at high, medium, and low risk. You've just named the reality.
So you're not talking about job titles, you're talking about the actual work being done, the tasks.
Exactly. Displacement follows workflows, not job titles. Once you have that map, you can start defining what we call AI adjacent roles. What does a claims processor become? Maybe an AI claims operator who validates the model's output. You start building the bridge for people to walk across before their current role becomes redundant.
And you also talk about adoption rituals. I love that term.
This is so important. It's about making this real for people. Run a weekly AI lab with your highest risk teams. Let them experiment safely. Share what's working, surface wins. It demystifies the technology and turns fear into curiosity.
Right.
Because silence is not reassurance, it's a vacuum, and your people will fill it with the worst possible assumptions.
That's a powerful line. And for smaller businesses, SMBs, is the advice different?
The logic is the same, but the speed and scale are different. For an SMB, the risk isn't mass displacement, it's being outpaced by a leaner competitor. So for them, it's about a minimal stack audit.
Okay.
Pick 3 workflows: invoicing, customer service, scheduling. Test free AI agents, measure the time saved. If it's real, you don't fire someone, you redesign a role. You merge 2 specialist roles into one AI enabled generalist who can do more. It's about agility.
This is all incredibly concrete, and I know this all ties back to your moat framework. Can you give us the 30-second overview of how that connects all these pieces?
Sure, moat is just a simple way to organize the work. M is for mindset. That's what we've been talking about, naming the reality, being honest. O is for operations. That's the workflow audit, mapping where the change will actually happen. A is for adoption habits, the weekly AI labs, the peer-led learning, making it a ritual. And T is for transformation. That's building the new roles, the new career paths, the internal mobility engine, so people have somewhere to go.
Mindset, operations, adoption, transformation.
It's a sequence. You can't just buy a tool and hope for the best. You have to do the work in that order.
Emeka, this has been so insightful. It feels like you've given our listeners a real tangible roadmap instead of just more hype or more fear.
That's the goal. It's a solvable problem if we start now.
Yeah. And for our listeners, just about everything we've talked about today is detailed in Emeka's latest BuildMoat newsletter. It's titled, AI Will Make Your Organization Leaner. Whether it makes it stronger is up to you. We'll have a link to it right in the show description. It is an absolute must-read.
Thanks, Emily.
That's all the time we have for today. A huge thank you to Emeka Ogbonnaya for stepping in. Be sure to like and subscribe to Community Advantage for more conversations like this. We'll see you next time.